Hey, this is attempt number 2 on contouring optic Chiasm MRI. My first attempt, I did poorly because I got a score of 0 out of 100 because I contoured on the wrong layers. Um, the point of this channel is to learn, and on my second attempt, now that I've already seen the solution, I could 100% it, but it does me no good for progressing if I don't know why I made my mistakes. So I want to break down my misconceptions from my first attempt. And also, now that I've seen the solutions and some guidelines, explain why the knowledge I have now means on my next attempt, I'll be better. So in the first attempt, I had said I was looking for the lenses and I would be lining up the midplane of the optic chiasm with the lenses um, in the superior inferior direction. But that was a wrong misconception to hold on to because it's not true. The optic chiasm sits um, above the midplane of the lenses. And I can see this on the guidelines because um, because because of this picture. Lenses midplane is uh, optic nerve is midplane with lenses, but the optic chiasm travels superiorly and posteriorly. It's also visible in these three pictures because um, midplane of optic canal, the chiasm is only visible, the posterior, or excuse me, the anterior portion is only visible at midplane level of the canal. When you go one slice higher, the optic canal is no longer visible, but then the optic chiasm anterior and posterior portions are both visible. And on this picture, I'm assuming it is a more, excuse me, a more inferior slice because we are not seeing any optic chiasm. And we've gone so far down that we're at the cella tubernica. And how do we know that? It's because we see this dark air, this dark portion, which is air, and the pituitary gland sits there. Um, yeah, so in summary, we were on the wrong slices. We're on the wrong slices because we had assumed that the optic chiasm would stay level with the optic nerve, but it doesn't. So we're going to redo this attempt right now and go to launch contouring. Here, all slices. Okay, so we can see the optic canal. We should only be seeing posterior, we should only be seeing anterior portions of the chiasm. So this is probably it. And then we're going to go one slice higher. And so it's still only the anterior portion of the optic chiasm. One slice higher, the optic canal has disappeared. We're going to start seeing more posterior portions of the chiasm. And we know the chiasm is kind of in the shape of a neck, so that's what we're looking for. Even though I saw the solution, I already forgot, which is probably to my benefit because we're going not off of memory, but off of reasoning. It's um, To follow this slice, where is it going? It's concerning because I'm thinking two things are the chiasm, but I know that's not true. So I just have to look for what I think is the chiasm, and as I go inferiorly, it should connect to the optic nerve. So here, yeah, this is optic nerve. This must be chiasm. If I go inferiorly, I should start seeing the posterior portions. Kind of stumped here because if you look on the sagittal view, I have one that's pretty posterior, but another that's anterior, and we know it goes superior as we head posterior, so it's kind of going in the wrong direction. I'm going to think about this a little bit more we might have reasoned it correctly, but still not able to identify um, on the images what actually is chiasm, which is not that I don't know what the optic chiasm looks like and how it travels and nearby anatomical features, but I don't know what all that looks like on a MRI. So I'm just going to submit this and yeah, maybe there'll be a third attempt. 37 is better. Um, I skipped a slice here, which means I lost some points, but rookie mistake. And I didn't go high enough superiorly. The interesting thing about this optic chiasm is that it never ends up looking like an X, which is what I was expecting um, from the guidelines. That means I shouldn't be relying on the guidelines too much. This geometry will vary person by person, especially if the slices are so. These slices are 1 millimeter, which the resolution is good, but since the optic chiasm is probably only 3 millimeters um, thick, um, caudal to cephal, then any slight variations will look completely different from the guidelines. Yeah, so see you in the third attempt, and we'll see what new things we have learned from this attempt.